Shalom Bahashim Yahawashi, this is the El. This is the tribal minister, Nasik, Prince Charlandine, Ben Ami Martazar Yambain, Yasha Allah Senior, the mighty Hebrew. I give all praise and honor to Yahweh himself, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake, all over the planet Earth. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here, Israel, so let's get it. I'm about to invite a bunch of people, start tagging everybody possible that you can, because right now we're going to expose Black Lives Matter out of their own wicked satanic mouths. This organization, this movement is not for Israel, period. And I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show you how wicked and diabolical this savage nation called America is. And we're going to open up with scripture because I know, I've been teaching a lot on pre-antediluvian, pre-flood civilization by the way of Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis. But in this, I need to now get the people to focus on Torah Constitution. And I'm going to show you by the way of Wayikra, miscalled the book of Leviticus. Also, we're going to be going into Debarium, miscalled the book of Deuteronomy. And we're going to get into the law, statutes, and commandments, how they view or how the laws view homosexuality and lesbianism to be an abomination. Then after I show them verses, then we're going to get into the mind state of Black Lives Matter. We're going to prove once and for all that so-called black lives really don't matter. So I'm going to invite some people. So I'm going to play one of my latest jams real quick, and then we're going to get into the presentation. I like to promote real, hip-hop music. And y'all know I do a lot of music. I work with Killer Priest, Hellraiser, all them cats from Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean? I work with them close. They my comrades. They my brothers, and I love them. You know what I mean? So let's get into this. One of my newest tracks, you know what I mean, called Etheric Crystals. Check it out. Let's get it. Invite everybody, Israel. Let's get it. Let's get it. I possess life's insight, Kabbalah light, etheric crystal, enlightenment blind, those claiming sight. Rise like old owl, fight snowmen, farseer like fountain on mountains. Martin, see promised land, Moses from afar, original Hebrew beyond the far. From a rapport, sporting charms, roasting machines, read palms as one read the Psalms. I remain calm like content, swamp, water, Vietnam. The middle melt within, heavy gunplay against the Sith. Paranormal shift, know the ledge of the edge of the cliff. Breaking chains, I'm in my biff, blowing Buddha, bless the sky, lining in the spaceship. Crown Vic, old school wise men, Shema from Zion, lion and talisman. Keep me bionic, I'm Sephirotic, supersonic like tonic, crushing cats like rhinoceros. Many false prophets make profit. Unconscious, silence, keep the nonsense, playing mind tricks from the wicked, mental abyss. 2/3 in the deep mist, there's a dark eclipse fighting within. Yo, let's get it, Israel. Fuck Black Lives Matter. We're about to get into it. Everybody was looking at my posts. Some people had misinformation because they didn't read, my statement. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we only give honor and praise over here to Yahweh himself, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake, all over the planet Earth. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. Let's get it. We at the 18th chapter of Wayikra, miscalled the book of Leviticus. Let's start at verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Let's shoot over to Wayikra or Leviticus
chapter 20, verse 13. Let's read. It reads, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Under Torah Constitution, if we was in our own sovereign land, being self-governed by our own institutions of higher learning, these cats would be put to death. Now, let's go to the 23rd chapter of Devarim. Let's start at verse 17, and then I give you the proper translation. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. All right, so boom, that's going to the Ivrit and the Tanakh real quick. Y'all see me with the Tanakh. We're going to go in the Tanakh real quick and read in the Ivrit what it should properly say, right? For y'all that's hiding by the way of lesbianism. Well, let me bust your bubbles real quick because y'all think it ain't in the scripture. Hallelujah. It says, where am I at to make sure I'm in the right? Oh, Quadesha, Ma Bati Yisrael. Drop. Quadesh, Ma B'nai Yisrael. So that's letting us know, no Israelite woman shall be a lesbian, nor shall any Israelite man be a homosexual. Quadesha is the feminine word for Quadesh, which is a homosexual. Okay? So that's out the way. And Quadesha is a lesbian. So let's get into the mind of Black Lives Matter. So I'm here at their website, okay? I'm here at their website, Black Lives Matter, news, about programs, global actions, watch, listen, etc. It says what matters, resources, etc. Chapters, all that. So now it says, what do we believe? So we have to go into the minds of these people to see what they believe. So I'm pulling it up a little bit so everybody can see. Y'all need to tag everybody because we always hear about Black Lives Matter, Black Lives this, Black Lives that. But let's see if Black lives really matter, as they say, because that's what we constantly hear, that Black Lives Matter. 4 years ago, what is now known as the Black Lives Matter Global Network began to organize. It started out as a chapter-based, member-led organization whose mission was to build local power and to intervene when violence was inflicted on Black communities by the state and the vigilantes. And the vigilantes. In the years since, listen y'all, in the years since we committed to struggling together and to imagining and creating a world free of anti-Blackness, where every Black person has the social, economic, and political power to thrive. Listen, y'all. Listen. Because y'all have to hear this. Listen. It says, Black Lives Matter began as a call to action and respond to state-sanctioned violence and anti-Black racism. Our intention from the very beginning was to connect Black people from all over the world who have a shared desire for justice to act together in their community. So what they trying to say from the information that we read, originally it was to stop vigilante and police brutality and other injustices within this country when it pertained to so-called African Americans. Now, this is so-called their original intent. But as we continue to read down Black Lives Matter website, what you're going to see is a transformation. You're going to see a transformation. So thus far, we done seen that they claim what they're dealing with, for Black people. The impetus for that commitment was and still is the rampant and deliberate violence inflicted on us by the state. Enraged by the death of Trayvon Martin and the subsequent acquittal of his killer, George Zimmerman, and inspired by the 31-day takeover of the Florida state capitol by Power U and the Dream Defenders, we took to the streets. A year later, we set out together on the Black Lives Matter Freedom Ride to Ferguson in search of justice for Mike Brown and all of those who have been torn by state-sanctioned violence and anti-black racism. Forever changed, we returned home and began to build the infrastructure for the Black Lives Matter Global Network, which, even in its infancy, has become a political home for many. Y'all need to hear this. Listen. It says, Ferguson helped to catalyze a movement, catalyst a movement to which we all help to, this stuff is small. We all help give life. Organizers who call this network home have onslaught, I don't know if they missed. Whatever. Onslaught anti-black power politicians won critical legislation to benefit black lives and change the terms of the debate on blackness around the world. Through movements and relationship building, we have also helped other movements and shift culture with an eye towards the dangerous impact of anti-blackness. So what they're saying now is that they've been building with other organizations. Okay, the Black Lives Matter. Now, these are the results of their collective efforts. They saying the Black Lives Matter Global Network is as powerful as it is because of our membership, our partners, our supporters, our staff, and you. So we know that you got all these supporters, you got all these staff, all these partners from other organizations, okay? And then they say our continued commitment to liberation for all black people means that we are continuing the work of our ancestors to fighting for our collective freedom because it is our duty, okay? Now, I'm going to jump down and get to the point because this is basically them bragging about, what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get to the point. Matter of fact, let's start. Okay, right here. It reads, we acknowledge, respect, and celebrate differences and commonalities. We work vigorously for freedom and justice for black people, and by extension, all people. Listen, we intentionally build and nurture a beloved community. Now, you got to listen to the words. These are the way they're writing their approach. Listen, we intentionally build. When they saying we and Black Lives Matter, they're really talking about the women and these homosexual transgender men that's playing as females. We intentionally build and nurture because a woman is a nurturer. So you got to listen to the language that they're projecting out there, right? A beloved community that is bonded together through a beautiful struggle that is restorative, not depleting. We are unapologetically black and our positioning in affirming that Black Lives Matter, we need not qualify our position. To love and desire freedom and justice for ourselves is a prerequisite for wanting the same for others. Now listen, we see ourselves as part of the global black family. So let's stop. again, you're placing our struggle as if all so-called black people are the same, and they're not. That's the language that is putting out there. Now, if you're talking about all so-called black people that are scattered throughout the world, that's Israelites, okay. But this is not what they're really saying, okay. They want us to have the struggle, or our struggle, to be connected with everybody, so we can never find out who we are. Because the way they doing it is, if they identify our struggle with other people's struggle, it's as if there's no uniqueness with our struggle. Watch this. Let's continue on. Check this out. We see ourselves as part of the global black family, and we are aware of the different ways we are impacted or privileged as black people who exist in different parts of the world. We are graded by the fact, listen, that all black lives matter, regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity. You got to hear this. Gender identity, gender expression, economic status, ability, disability, religious beliefs or disbeliefs, immigration status or location. We make space. Listen to what they're saying. We make space. Y'all got to hear these people. Again, we just read from the scripture that homosexuality and lesbianism is abomination, and if we was in our sovereign land, they would be put to death. We're on Black Lives Matter website. It's no getting around. Shalom, princess. Shalom to you. Shalom, princess. You cannot tell me that this is not a wicked organization. It says, listen, you got to hear how they're talking. You see what I'm saying? Remember in the beginning, it said we intentionally build and nurture. These are terms and expressions that a female does with a child. Now, Black Lives Matter was developed by 3 so-called African American lesbian women that in turn is being funded by the so-called Jews. You gotta really see what's going on here. So I'm gonna show you in their own words how they're gonna exit out the so-called black man. Y'all gonna see this with your own eyes. This is what I'm saying. Fuck the hearsay. I'm directly on Black Lives Matter website. So they can't say Mighty Hebrew is making up anything, because everything I can show and prove. Shalom, Kim. Shalom, Moshiach. Now watch. We intentionally build and nurture a beloved community that is bounded together through a beautiful struggle. This is feministic talk, man. Not woman talk. But this talk is expressed by the way of the feministic movement. You got to really hear, the gestures and statements of language. Y'all got to really hear and understand what y'all dealing with here. Watch. I'm going to jump down because this is what I'm focusing on right now. We see ourselves as part of the global black family. See, this is deception, because what you're doing is comparing our struggle to struggles all over the world with different dark nations that may not be Israel. And by doing that, it causes our uniqueness of the prognostications in the scripture to be hidden, as if our struggle is just basically the same as transgender struggles, women's liberation, etc., etc. They use the so-called black struggle, really the Israelite struggle, as a compass or a measuring rod to identify other struggles, when in fact our struggle is totally unique and it has nothing to do with their struggles. Now watch this. Listen, and listen carefully. We see ourselves as part of the global black family, and we are aware of the different ways we are impacted or privileged as black people who exist in different parts of the world. So they say they aware. These people are not dumb. These people are aware of what they're saying and what they're doing. They're aware of these things. So don't think what they're doing, they don't have no idea. Watch. It says, we are guided by the fact that all black lives matter. Or we are guided by the fact that all black lives matter, regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity. Meaning it don't matter if you was born a man or a woman, or if you perceive yourself a man when you really a woman, or you perceive yourself as a woman when you really a man, right? Gender identity, gender expression, economic status, ability, disability, religious beliefs or disbeliefs, immigration status or location. Okay. Watch, y'all. Watch. It's about to get real deep. I'm on a website. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. No, y'all need to see this. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. Let me do it again, because they freezing me up. Facebook, stop with your shit, Facebook. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. That's the key right there, to participate and lead. So basically, they basically letting you know that those that are running your organization and that's leading it, they transgenders. Watch this. We are self-reflective. Listen to what they're saying. You gotta hear this. We are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle just gender privilege and uplift black trans. Now you gotta look. Why is the main focus of what they about is focusing on transgenderism? Why? Because it's being ran by lesbians, transgenders, all that. And you never know, them people, them three women, that might be looking like women, you never know, they might be transgender. But they're pushing this transgender agenda. Watch, listen. We are self-reflective. So they saying right there, they with all that. That's what they saying. We are with all that. So we not going to sit up here and play no games like these devils don't know what they doing. Because they know exactly what the fuck they doing. Look. Yeah, y'all know I'm the cursing prince. Y'all know how I get down. We are self-reflective. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. We are self-reflective. What you think that's telling you? What Michael Jackson say? Standing in the man in the mirror, staring at the man in the mirror. They saying that they self-reflective. Right? And they do the work required to dismantle transgender privilege and uplift black trans folks, especially black trans women, especially black trans women, meaning men, right? And is free from sexism, right? Misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. Stop. 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 Fucking stop. Now, I gotta go get me a brewed beer for this one. Come on, Israel. I gotta get me one for this one because I know Israel ain't that dumb. I know Israel ain't that dumb to think for a moment that this right here is for their best interest. Let's read it together as a family. Look, family, mishpachah. Look. We make our spaces. Where was that at? Oh no, go back up. Look, we are. Hold on, it's being stupid. I gotta make it. Okay, I see something. We are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle just gender privilege and uplift black trans folk, especially black trans women, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. But go up. Now y'all gotta hear this right here. Y'all gotta hear this. We see ourselves as part of the global black family. When they saying we, they talking about so-called black transgenders, man, and lesbians. This is what they're talking about. We, Black Lives Matter, the body politic of that is all transgenders, homosexuals, and lesbians, man. That's who the we is talking about. We see ourselves as the global black family. As part of the global black family. Now, in this retrospect, the global black family would be Israel scattered all over the four corners of the earth. But in their mind state, anybody black all over the world that's suffering. But we know better than that. We talking about the transgenders, talking about the lesbians, the homosexuals, all that. That's them talking about them being a part of the global black family. I'm proving it. Watch. We are guarded by the fact that all black lives matter, regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity. I just showed y'all in the book, of Leviticus chapter 18, 20 verse 13. It talking about if you lay with man, you are to be put to death. What are you talking about? Under our sovereign government, you will be put to death in our land. Fuck Black Lives Matter. What you talking about? This is a abominable organization that's being ran by Blade Runners. And y'all went for that. And y'all fell for the okie doke. Y'all thought when they was talking about we, y'all thought they was talking about black people. No. When it's talking about Black Lives Matter, in that sense, in the we, they're talking about transgenders, homosexuals, and lesbians. That's what they talking about, and any other genders they have. That's what they talking about. It's a big-ass 3-ring freak show circus. That's what it is, man. Watch. We are guided by the fact, you gotta hear this, that all Black Lives Matter, regardless of actual or perceived. So they say it don't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you perceive yourself as a man or a woman. Perceived sexual identity, gender expression, economic status, ability, disability, religious beliefs or disbeliefs, immigration status or location. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. Are you crazy? If we ever found out that a Levitical priest was a homo, we will destroy him. Lead? Who the fuck they think they lead? They not leading us. We is the black transgenders and homosexuals and lesbians. They talking about leading the so-called African American community. Watch. Let's continue. We are self-reflective This is what they saying. You got to hear what they saying. We are self-reflective. So everything that they acknowledge and believe in and what they're saying, they're saying that it's us. The we in Black Lives Matter is the transgenders and lesbians and gays and all of them. That's the we. It's them that's saying we are guided by the fact, etc., etc. We, them, the homosexuals, transgenders, all of them, the lesbians, we are self-reflective. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. Do you hear this shit, man? We are self-reflective and do the work required to dismantle. Listen, to dismantle just gender privilege and what? Uplift black trans folks, especially black trans women, meaning men that run around thinking that they women when they're not, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. So basically they saying they against the Torah. That's what they're saying, man. They're saying they are against the Torah. You ain't know that, man? Watch this. Watch this. Let's get this shit. Your life ain't matter? Or you thought that your life mattered? Okay. Let's go up. Bang. Put this back. I'll come back and bring it forward. Listen, y'all. It says, we build a space that affirms black women. You gotta hear this because you fucking sisters, a lot of y'all are to blame for a lot of these young boys being faggots, man. Because if you watch any of them black movies, notice when you get a black hair salon, you always either got that transgender or that homo up in there. You feminize your sons. You disrespect the man that you get in your house. What you talking about? Yes, the so-called black man is the hair. We take full responsibility. But let's keep it real. The responsibility is shared. Because in Hebrew culture, when understood correctly, men and women are equal, but equality, as the late Ben Ami said it best, equality don't mean sameness. Our roles are different. Our perspectives are different, but the responsibility is shared. So you want to talk 50-50? Okay, you're going to take responsibility too, so-called black woman. Y'all start lusting after each other. Why? Because the white mistress of the house during slavery times will have y'all doing fellatio to them. And this is how deep lesbianism and dykeism and all that started to flourish throughout the so-called African American community. Why? Because during slavery times, a lot of them slave female mistresses was raping and molesting the women. And the so-called white men, they was raping and molesting the men and the boys. They showed this to you in the movie Farewell or Goodbye Uncle Tom. Right? Let's get it. Let's talk about it, Israel. And then they had them vocational schools, and them schools, they would send children away that would be bad, and they would be abused in them places, in them foster homes. You see right now, the Boy Scouts is on fire right now because a lot of them being exposed of them sergeants and them chiefs and all that was in them Boy Scouts. They was molesting them boys. A lot of them boys was being molested in Cub Scouts, Eagle Scouts, and Boy Scouts. This is a fact. Right? We build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism. misogyny. That stop right there. This is like article coming straight from the feminist movement. You sisters up here fighting a fight that you ain't even had nothing to do with. This fight has everything to do with the so-called black woman, the so-called white woman having hate towards her so-called white counterpart. And y'all took up the banner as if y'all was a part of this shit. You know what I mean? You act like you was a part of the plantational empire. And you put the burden of the mistress of the house because she gave you some old overalls and you thought that she was your friend. You seen in Roots when Ceci would go to that plantation house when she was young and play with that little girl, and that little girl taught her how to read, right? And then as time went on, she fucking turned on her. And then Ceci seen her when she was old, and she act like she ain't know who she was, and Ceci spit in her water and gave it to her. Y'all gotta really, really like hear what I'm saying. Y'all gotta hear what I'm saying. Y'all really do. Y'all have to hear what the mighty Hebrew is saying. I would have y'all. This is a wicked satanic movement. And I'm going to show y'all how wicked and satanic this is. This is deep. Y'all really thought that this was for our people. Y'all want to sit up here and harass and diss, Grandmaster Jay. But let's look at your whole movement, Black Lives Matter. You said listen, we build space that affirms black women and is free from sexism and misogyny. Let's read it again, but put white there. We built a space that affirms white women and is free from sexism, misogyny. That's dumb. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Listen, in environments in which men are centered, we built a space that affirms black women and is free from black men, which are the center. You got to read between the lines, Israel. Look. We build, look what they saying. We build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. So if the man, so-called black man, is the center of his family, then who's the center? Where you at? Watch this, y'all. It's about to get deeper. Watch this crazy stuff, y'all. Watch. It's about to get deep. Look, y'all. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the attempt to learn about and connect with their context. Y'all gotta really hear this. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle. Now y'all gotta hear this. I'm going in on y'all. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that require mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private, even as they participate in public justice work. Come on, man. This is so-called white woman struggle. Because remember, she was trying to work, you know what I'm saying, You know, and then when she did work, at times she would have to work doubles or even 2 jobs to make what the so-called her white counterpart was making, because when women first start working, they wasn't getting the same wages as so-called white men. I told you this is a from the movement or of the feminist movement. And so-called black women, they just adopting a struggle that has nothing to do with them. That's what they're doing. They're adopting a struggle that has nothing to do with them. Nothing. Nothing at all. Talking about we make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. They said as if y'all got power over their children. You got to hear this. We dismantle the patriarchal practice. But you know what's funny, y'all? When the Asian man want to be patriotic and successful over here in the United States, it's a good thing and they be successful. The so-called Mexicans, they have a patriotic system in their family structure over here, whereas though the man is the head of the house, etc., etc. They're successful. All the nations that come over here, knowing that we're in a patriotic society, right? They're all being successful and nobody says anything. But when it comes to the so-called black man, now being patriotic is a bad thing. Man, do y'all hear this shit? Do y'all hear this? Listen. Watch this, y'all. We dispute the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. So they saying they say we disrupt, not dispute. It says we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by freeing ourselves from the required by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Let's stop, y'all. You got to look at the garbage of what is being said and what they're missing. Like, for instance, to the degree that mothers, parents, now where's father at? Where's father at in this statement? Parents, they talking about transgender parents, gay parents, all that. Remember when they talking about Black Lives Matter, and then up there where it says how they would let children participate with their parents, they're talking about transgender parents. Black Lives Matter have nothing to do with the general black population. This is what people fail to understand. It just morphed into that by people's misunderstanding in the so-called African American community, because they didn't go on a website and really break this shit down. Black Lives Matter is a transgender / lesbian gay website right here. An organization that is talking about supporting and, fighting for the justices of gay, trans, lesbian people, man. That's what it's talking about. Why you think when you go to most of these Black Lives functions, or all of them, it be dominated by a bunch of gays and transgenders and all that? Listen, I'm going to take this from not all the way to the top, but I want to show y'all something. Look, it's letting you know. It's letting you know. Okay? We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. So they letting you know that they going to be like transgenders lead you. You going to be a transgender man, and she going to be leading you around, and it's really a woman, and you going to be talking to a transgender woman, which is really a man, that's going to be leading you in the battlefield of death. Come on, man. Just imagine that against other nations. Are you crazy? We are self-reflective. So they saying, yeah, we gay. We are self-reflective, and we do the work required to dismantle transgender privilege and uplift black trans folks, especially black trans women, meaning men, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. We built a space that affirms black women, right? When it says we build a space that affirms black women, we is the transgenders, the lesbians, the gays, all them that are affirming so-called straight black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. We practice empathy. These people, man. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their context. So they saying we want to multiply in this idea by the way of engaging with one to another and connecting sexually, physically, psychologically, spiritually, all that. This is what they're saying. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents, meaning transgenders and other weirdos, to fully participate with their parents. The reason why they saying fully participate, because you still got certain states that have law. Let's say if a mother or a father became a transgender woman, then that mother can take him to court and get the children if he had the children in certain states. And this is what they're fighting for. Listen, we dismantle the patriarchy. That's what they're saying. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice. They mean a man and woman relationship that requires mothers to work double shifts. Where in the this is an oxymoron. It's a contradiction. You can't say the patriarchal practice requires mothers to work double shifts. No, the patriarchal practice requires mothers to stay at home. What are you talking about? What they did was they took the term patriarchal practice and they tried to align it because women were out there doing the women's liberation movement, you know what I mean? And when they did receive jobs, they would have to work double shifts just to make the ante up that their counterpart man was making. And then trying to inside as if the black woman got to do all this work and the man don't do shit. This is what you gotta see the racism, the bigotry, the evil behind the shit that they saying. Watch this. Watch this. Okay, I read that part. Now, this is the real deal right here, though. They say we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, no mention of the father, and children are comfortable. Y'all gotta see what these motherfuckers is doing, man. They're exiting out. That's what I'm saying. Black lives don't matter. That was just a slogan. It was developed. It was originally built upon gays and transgenders that may have been. Hold on, y'all. See if somebody on my door. Gays and transgenders and different people of that caliber that, you know, they was going through a lot of, you know, discrimination, black power or nationalist movements or anything like that, because everything was centered around the original man. You see what I'm saying? So it's crazy how they're trying to center everything around a woman now. The black woman is God. You got that Kemetic Egyptian homosexual boy that's all on social media, you know, dealing with homosexuality, and he's supposed to be a priest and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you got, you know, all these different weird sciences by these different, you know, you will hear people talk about they're the seed coming from the indigo seed, or they're just dealing with some new age hippie gay type shit. And it's creeping in the black social fabric of America. You got these women, now they're gods versus being goddesses. You got to see what's going on. It's even reflecting in the black conscious community way heavier than the Israelite community. You can really see it in the black conscious Kemetic community. You can see Black Lives Matter all throughout this. You can see it. You can see the penetration. It says we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure, meaning a man and a woman and children. We bring each other and others and each other as extended families and villages. So now you got all these weirdos around children. This is why I'm saying next they're going to say pedophilia is legal. Y'all got to see what they got around our children that collectively care for one another, especially our children. To the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. We foster a queer affirming network. Come on, man. They're telling you. So you can't really be mad at Black Lives Matter because they letting you know. Look, y'all, these people are letting you know who the founders are. Look, we foster a queer affirming network. Ain't that when we would say back in the day, that nigga queer, man, meaning he was gay or something. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of hetero in the world are heterosexual unless she and /c he or they discontinue otherwise. You don't see what they doing? She is he. All you gotta see this, putting the woman as the center. Look, they saying that the man is nothing. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn. You got to hear what they saying, regardless of age. So basically, I'm telling you, the next thing is going to be pedophilia. Why you think at them gay parades now, they got them transgender little kids out there, 8 years old, 9 years old. Like all that. See, with everything that they did, it's like we try to follow suit after them. They saying we cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with the we abide for justice, liberation, and peace, and our engagement with one to another. These motherfuckers is lying. Now let's find out the founders of the founders of Black Lives Matter. Watch this. Watch. And they pop right up. These are the founders, right? These are the founders. So, now, this is one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, y'all. Alicia Gerzar. So let's read her background real quick, because I told you I was going to be on the top. So Alicia Gerzar, she was born January 4th, 1981. She is an American civil rights activist and writer known for co-founding the International Black Lives Matter movement. She has organized around the issues of health, student services, and rights for domestic workers, ending police brutality, anti-racism, and violence against transgenders and gender non-conforming people of color. Her editorial writing has been published by The Guardian, The Nation, Rolling Stone, etc., etc., right? So this is her right here. Her life, early education, where she went to, how she has her degree in anthropology and sociology. Yeah, I mean, look, it says now, I want y'all to hear this. In 2000, okay, in 2003, she met Malachi Gerzar. Funny, he got the same last name as her, right? A transgender man. So transgender man, female, okay, right? And or it could, I don't know if they mean a woman in this sense. That's a man being a woman, but we'll see as we continue to read. And a community activist. In 2004, Alicia came out as queer to her family. In 2008, she married Malachi and took the name Gerzar, settling in Oakland. So you gotta see why they pushing this transgender. See how the Most High is showing us? Because one of the founders, this woman right here, let's see this woman, man. This is who y'all follow, man. This is who y'all follow after. Let's see if this who y'all follow. That's exactly who y'all follow. That person right there. Okay? All right. And she married a transgender man. Come on, man. So basically, she's, boom, a female, right? Now, listen to this. Let's go into her early life and education. Let's get on them real quick. Gerzar. Right? Gerzar was born on January 4th, 1981. She grew up as Alicia Schwartz. Stop. So we know that the so-called Jews are financing Black Lives Matter in a mixed race and mixed religious household with a Jewish stepfather and an African-American mother. Gezer identifies as Jewish. Come on, man. Now y'all gotta hear this. Y'all gotta see who's influencing our people to believe in all this gay shit. It's them so-called Jews. Even if you look at the so-called Jewish men, they real feminine, man. Look, I'm not lying, y'all. Look, this is early life and education of this woman right here. This woman right here that we talking about. And then I still got two more, and then I'm done this presentation. So you see, yeah, she came from Oakland, California, right? It lets you know that. And then she was born in 1981, and she grew up as Alicia Schwartz, right? It says that she had a Jewish stepfather and an African-American mother, and that she identifies as being Jewish. Come on, man. This is easy to understand, right? It says the family ran an antique business, assisted later by her younger brother Joey. In her teens, Alicia engaged in activism, promoting school sex education about birth control, and enrolling in the University of California, San Diego. She continued her activism by joining the student association and calling for higher pay for the university's janitors. In her final year at college, she helped organize the first Women of Color Conference, a university-wide convention held at USCSB 2002. She graduated in 2002 with a degree of anthropology and sociology. Then I already read that part, how she met the transgender, you know, because it says in 2003 she met Malachi Geyser, you know what I'm saying, 24, and a transgender man. And I'm just listening to that whole name, Malachi Geyser. It sounds like Jewish the way they trying to portray it, even though we know it's Malachi, it's in Hebrew, but we ain't talking about them. A transgender man, right? And a community activist. In 2004, Alicia came out as a queer to her family. In 2008, she married Malachi and took the name Geyser, settled in Oakland. So we see that the founder, one of the founders so far, which is Alicia Geyser, married, she's a black woman that married a transgender man. And you can clearly see why Black Lives Matter is pushing this transgender thing. That's people, because don't use people like Trayvon Martin and all that. Look, this transgender man, Gezer, is credited with inspiring the slogan Black Lives Matter. So you have this so-called transgender man that came up with the slogan Black Lives Matter, right? It says, you can see it, man, it's right here. Geyser is credited with inspiring the slogan where after the July 2013 acquittal of George Zimmerman of murder and the death of Trayvon Martin. She posted on Facebook, I continue to be surprised at how little Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Then they just, you know, get into what they get into. Now they getting into the movement of Black Lives Matter. You see what I'm saying? And then their additional work, you know what I'm saying? Et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it has nothing to do with what we think, okay? It has nothing to do with that. So now, that's one of the people that started Black Lives Matter. So now we're going to the next one. Boom. So now, let's go to the next one. So we see the first one is gay, right? And then married a transgender man. This is the second one. This is the second one, which is a Paul Tomiti. Because, you know, they take these names and all that. So this person was born August 15. Well, she's a Nigerian American. She was born August 15, 1984. Is a Nigerian human rights activist, writer, strategist, and community organizer. She is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. She is the director of the International Organization for People of African Descent, the Black Alliance for Just Immigration. So when you seen the part when they was talking about immigration and all that, you see why. And you also see that she is of Nigerian descent. So her parents must have been immigrants, etc., like that. So you can see basically what I read is the mind of these women and basically what they went through. Okay? Now, let's go down and see if they say anything about her. Okay. It says that is the daughter of Nigerian immigrants. She is the oldest of 3 children and has 2 younger brothers. She grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and now lives in Brooklyn, New York, and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then it gets into things that she has done. Okay. Leadership. Then it gives the references where she did whatever she did. It don't really get into her sexual preference, even though I read in other places. But notice it don't mention anything. You know what I'm saying? It don't mention anything. And there's a reason why she can, like, it could be private. Let's see. This is her website. So if I want to go to her website, let's see real quick. So this is her Pacific website that should pop up. But if it take long, I just come back to that. Okay, it's coming now. See, this is how you, shalom, shalom, my Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm just exposing Black Lives Matter, man. Because our people, man, they really think that this Black Lives Matter is really for our people, and it's not. I'll come back. Where was I at? I don't know how that just changed up like that when I did that. So I gotta do it again. This is what they did. They do sometimes. All right. I'll come back to her because I'm pretty sure I can find out more because I've seen it before. So now I'm going to this person. So now we got her now. The last one. And she was born in 1983. This is her. Patrice Corres. That's her. Right? And she's an American activist and artist. She's an advocate for prison abortion. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I see what's going on. In Los Angeles, and co-founder of Black Lives Matter. She is also a LGBTQ activist. That's what I'm telling y'all, man. These women is gay. They messing with transgenders. You know what I mean? They doing all kinds of weird stuff. Listen, callers recalls being forced from her home at 16 when she revealed her queer identity to her parents. She was involved with the Jehovah's Witnesses as a child. She developed interest in the Nigerian religious tradition of Ifa. Come on, man, I told y'all. Why you think that you be seeing these women that might get mad at Israelite men and then they wind up getting into what? IFA, Ifa, incorporated its rituals into political protest events. Y'all don't even fucking get what's going on. These weird as transgender gay women, all that, what they doing is, I'm going to show y'all what they doing. Remember when I said, is there a lesbian sorcery cover-up creeping in the black conscious community, Hebrew Israelite community? Remember when I did that 5-hour lecture? You see it. Look, I'm going to let y'all see it. Look. It says, y'all see it. Hold on, let me get this person out the way. Look. I ain't got to lie. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Callers recalls being forced from her home at 16 when she revealed her queer identity to her parents. So her parents put her ass out. She was involved with the Jehovah's Witnesses as a child, but later grew disillusioned with the church. She developed an interest in the Nigerian religious traditions of Ifa, incorporating its rituals into political protest events, she told an interviewer. Come on. Man, so let's look. I want to show y'all something real quick. Watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something. Watch this. Look. This is now, you look what pops right up. Boom. LGBT themes in African diasporic mythologies. Right? Look. It's about voodoo, Santeria. Right? Now, I want y'all to hear this, because you got to understand why they're involved in this stuff, man. Voodoo. A large number of spirits or deities exist in Haiti and Haitian and Louisiana voodoo. And when you go to Louisiana, them area, a lot of them women be gay or go both ways. right? Now, I'm going to jump down to get to the point. It says, some Iwa or Iwa have particular links with magic, ancestral worship, or death, such as the Gades and Barons. A number of these are further particularly associated with transgenderism. Or same-sex actions. This includes the Gedi Nabo. He's preparing for those who are young. He is sometimes picked as a feminine drag queen. Look, here's the picture and everything. Look, y'all, and read it. Look. What did that say? The bisexual Iowa. Look, y'all. This is what y'all deal. This is what Black Lives Matter, the founders of Black Lives Matter movement and all them. This is what they're dealing with. You thought this was a joke? You thought this was a joke? Come on, it's letting you know, depicting. It says that this spirit. Now you gotta remember, in Black Lives Matter, don't they be like that? We, meaning these transgenders, how they gonna be caring for women, caring for children. Y'all remember it? And right here, what does it say? It talks about these include what is known as Gadi Nearbo, a spirit caring for those who die young, meaning children. Caring for children, meaning a pedophile, right? He is sometimes depicted as a effeminate drag queen and inspires those he inhabits to lascivious sexuality of all kinds, especially transgender or lesbian behavior in women. What are you talking about? That spirituality ain't real. Like they trying to fuck you with transgender deities. This is what they doing to your children. Right? Gidi Nabo's parents are Bara Samadi and Madam Bridget, right? It says that Buran Samidi is the leader of the Gadis and Barans and is depicted as a bisexual dandy or occasionally as transgender, wearing the top hat and the frock coat along with a woman's skirts and shoes. Come on, they letting you know. Look, and it says that Samindi has a tendency towards lascivious movements. Listen, that cross gender boundaries and also imply a lust for anal sex. I'm murdering you. Black Lives Matter, I'm murdering you. So let's go back. Let's go back real fast, y'all. Look, it says that this woman right here, which is one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, it says that she developed an interest in the Nigerian religious traditions of Ife, incorporating its rituals into political protest events. She told an interviewer, come on, man, this ain't made up. Now we hit boom. Come on, we in what now, family? Look. LGBT themes in African diasporic mythology. Come on, man. What are you talking about, man? How could we follow such wickedness as this? This is beyond wicked. This is beyond wicked. That's why them people that be in the Kemetic philosophies and all them weird African customs and all them motherfuckers people in that Kemetic thought, they be feminine as hell, man. It's a spirit of demasculinization involved in these traditions, man. Look, let's continue on. It says that this boy have a tendency towards lascivious movements, meaning Black Lives Matter. They have a tendency towards movements like Black Lives Matter that cross gender boundaries and have applied a lust for anal sex. Come on. If you take this and align it with or go to the Black Lives Matter website and look at it about, this is what they doing. Of the Barons displaying gay behavior of Baron Lodi and all them. Come on. Who are lovers and teach a type of homoerotic new rustling at their school believed to increase magical potency. Then it says Baran Odio, who often manifests with a childlike aspect, has been called the Baran, mostly closely linked to homosexuality by voodoo practitioners. What are y'all talking about, man? I'm murdering Black Lives Matter. I'm showing y'all where the ideas come from, man. These are wicked people that y'all been dealing with, that's dealing in the dark arts, man. Let's keep going. Watch this. Another IWE is associated with love, sensation, aspects that are LGBT related, including transgender or Amazonian traits, in addition to traditionally feminine gestures. When inhabited men, these aspects can result in transgender or homoerotic behavior, whereas they may result in lesbianism or anti-male sentiments in women. Come on, man. Damn, this shit is right here. And then it says that this demon or being or whatever it is, it's seen as a protector of gay men. Ain't that what Black Lives Matter talking about? They're embodying themselves as these deities. And Zuel Dantar is associated with Santeria and Kamdubari. And they derive from supposedly